What's up? My name is Asiyajuleese. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get these jumbo box braids at home. They have triangle parts, and I'm going to be giving some tips and tricks so that you can do the parts on your own and complete the whole head by yourself. The style took about 5 hours for me to do on my own. I didn't have any help with parting or telling me where to place my braids, so it took a little longer than it would have if I were doing it on somebody else, but I think it turned out pretty well. And let's get into the video. So first you're gonna need a rat tail comb. Ew, rat tooth, that's gross. And some grease. You can really use any kind. I'm just gonna use this to moisturize my parts. Some edge control. You're going to use this for your actual edges and to lay down the sectioned off pieces for braids. Some rubber bands, because we are going to use them as anchors for the braids. Clips. Have at least 4 clips on hand. Your toothbrush. And the hair that I got was the Jumbo Kanekalon braiding hair. It is $1 each at the store that I went to. And I got 7 packs. So 7 packs did my whole head. I got 2 braids out of each pack. Now I've washed my hair and blow dried it. I was having a little Beyonce moment. You're gonna start by parting your hair from ear to ear, and this is the top of your ear. Now this back part is definitely the hardest part. It took a lot of editing for me to get just some okay parts. I wasn't looking for them to be perfect because I knew that I was going to mostly wear my hair up in a ponytail or a bun, and I didn't think that you would be able to see the parts in the back as much. But my biggest advice for this part is just to keep editing over and over until you get what you think is the best that you can do for this back part. Don't be too hard on yourself about these first braids. This section in the back is going to be 3 braids, so it's going to be 3 triangles on the bottom of the neck. And as you can see, I'm using the other mirror just to see how it's looking back there, and editing as needed with that rat tail. Now you can see that I sectioned off into 3 triangles. My advice is to do the middle one first. Doing the side ones first is hard. If you do the middle first, it gives you a good starting point. So I would say do the middle first. And as you can see, mine are not perfect, but like I said, I wasn't looking for perfection for these first triangles. I'm just looking for a good base. Now I just use the clip to hold the hair that's hanging out of those first 3. And now I'm gonna just section off the front of my hair so that I can get into parting the next section into triangles. So I'm just seeing how it looks. Again, using that mirror just to see where I can edit and where I need to straighten up. It's all just a back and forth process. Honestly, the parting took longer than doing the braids. The braids were super easy because they were so big and there were only 13 or 14 of them. So they were really quick, but the parting on your own is super hard. But it's not something that's not doable. It just takes longer than you would want it to. So here I am making the first triangle part. Now to make the triangles, you have to make them connect to each other. So you're going to use the first ones that you made to build off of and connect each one. And I'm going to be able to show you a little bit better than in this clip when I get to the front of the head. So obviously that's coming next, so just stay tuned and you'll see what I mean by all of the parts connected. And this is going to make it look like, an intentional style rather than just crazy triangles everywhere. So now I'm in the front of my hair. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm taking out the baby hair before I do the front of my hair because I just want to make sure that I got some hair up front to lay down so it can look nice and easy breezy in the front. I'm just gonna go ahead and look at the previous parts that I made so that I can connect them, and like I said, I'm gonna show you guys that. So you can see that the top of the part in the middle section is right there, and I'm looking in the mirror now. I can see, so my parts can be a little bit better. I'm just taking the point at the top and using that as a guide to drag that first part down diagonal. And from the side, it's going to kind of look like the parted out piece is a rectangle, but when the hair is in that ponytail and the braid goes on, you can tell that it's a triangle. The first one isn't a perfect triangle because your head is a circle, so you can't have a perfect triangle all the time, but you know, you're just going to make sure that you use the starting point of the last section to make this section correct. So just like I said, I'm just using that top point as the starting point and dragging it on down. Now I'm just rubbing the edge control over the sectioned off part of my hair. And I didn't show that in any clips before this, but I did that on each section of the hair. I definitely put edge control and used my little toothbrush to smooth out each section of hair. And then after all of the hairs were smoothed down, I went ahead and made a little bit ponytail with my rubber band. Now with the ponytails, you want to make sure that the actual ponytail is in the middle of the sectioned off piece of hair, because if it's not in the middle, that's where your braid is going to hang from. So if it's like on the side or more down to the bottom, your braid is just gonna look a little weird because it's hanging from the incorrect spot. So you want to make sure it's right in the middle of the sectioned off piece of hair, and then you'll start your braid off from there. I actually messed up on this one, so I'm just going ahead to do it again. You know, it's all about the edit. Like I said, don't be hard on yourself. It'll get done. Just do the best that you can and get it done. So now I have all of the pieces sectioned off, and you can see that, you know, they are all in triangles. They all connect to each other, and everything is great. So I'm going to get into doing the braids, which was the fun part of this and the part I most enjoyed. So next we have our hair, and like I said, each pack gave me 2 braids, so it's a pretty good chunk of hair. You can choose however big you want them to be, but here I'm just making sure that the ends of the weave are not blunt, because we want to be able to braid them all the way down to the bottom. And if we can't, if it's not layered, we won't be able to braid to the bottom. So here's how you connect the braid. You place the very middle of the hair around the rubber band and straighten it out. You want to make sure that there's no pieces hanging in between. You're gonna put one side under and then your hair under. And now when your hair is in the middle, you're gonna take a small piece from each side of the fake hair and you're gonna join it with your hair, and then you're gonna start to do a braid normally. This is super easy. I've seen a lot of different methods on how to, you know, anchor braids or start singles and all of that. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the best braider. This was easiest for me. So again, put the hair right in the middle, push one side under the other. Okay, and now put your hair under, and once it's in the middle, just take 2 pieces from each side to make the hair roughly the same thickness in each strand. So now you have 3 strands that are pretty much the same thickness, and you got to remember that this plastic hair is a little bit thicker most of the time than human hair. My hair, it looks puffy, but it's not as thick. So now I'm just going through and I'm just snipping off the little ends of the hair, because if you remember when we were pulling, well, when I was pulling the hair to make sure I had those layered ends, that does cause the hair to have like little ends sticking out on the end. So you just want to trim those off as much as possible so that they're not sticking out and looking messy. You can just go around and just, you know, trim the hair off. And now I have hot boiling water in a pitcher. This is a pitcher from the dollar store. Please be careful for what kind you use because the water is hot. I don't want anyone to burn themselves. And after I dip the hair in, I go ahead and have a towel on the side to squeeze it out. Make sure you have that towel because again, the water is really hot. You can't do it with just your bare hands. I'm trying to get the ends as straight as possible, so I do dip them in a second time without them touching the bottom. Sometimes when they touch the bottom, it makes them curl a little bit. Just going in with the other side and doing the same exact thing. And drying it off with the towel. So here I am with my finished braids. I love them, but I'm going to do a few more steps. So this is olive oil mousse. It's just a, natural hold mousse. It's going to help any flyaways on the braids sit down so that they look nice and fresh, like you just got them done, because you did. And yep, I just smooth that right over all of the braids. I don't touch the roots. Some people do put it on their roots, but I just didn't want to today. Just wanted to do the braids. And you can see when you put it on, it helps it look more polished, even just when you place it on one time. So I'm just gonna do that on both sides. And just so you guys know, if you ever want to refresh your braids, you can do this again. Like if you wash your braids and they look a little bit fuzzy, go right ahead and use your mousse again. And you can just give yourself a nice little refreshed look just for one day. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do my edges. I'm gonna use my same handy dandy toothbrush that I've had forever from the dollar store, and I'm gonna just go ahead and style my edges. This is really just personal preference. If you don't want to have baby hair, you don't have to, but I think it makes it look cute. And I know a lot of people use a comb, but the toothbrush is the most comfortable for me. I tried to do the comb as well as the toothbrush when I did this style, but I just found that the toothbrush worked a little bit better. So I'm done with my baby hair. And I'm gonna go ahead and spritz my baby hair because I want it to last for like at least 2 or 3 days. So when I put the spritz on top, it just gives it that like hard hold, and I can put my scarf on at night and have the baby hair be great for the next day. It really lasts for a few days with me. And I put my hair up in a ponytail, just like I said that I would be wearing my hair in a ponytail or bun. So I just used one elastic, wrapped it around the braids, and then I wrapped one braid from the back around the hair. And now you see me just placing a bobby pin in there, because at first I just wrapped the braid around and like tucked it, but that actually didn't work. I needed an actual bobby pin to make the braids stay. And this is the style. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.